Welcome to the Wyoming Women's Business Center's 2022 Business Education Webinar Series. Today's presentation is Beginner's Guide to Content Marketing. My name is Jessica Brower, and I'm the Marketing Director at the Wyoming Women's Business Center, and I'll be your speaker today. Before we start, I want to point out the Zoom control panel on the bottom of your screen. I want to call attention to both the questions and the chat function. If you have any comments or questions during the webinar today, I'd like you to use those. If you haven't yet, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. I'd love to know where you're joining us from and what line of business you're working in. As you may have heard, this webinar is being recorded, and the link to access the recording via Zoom will be sent out to all registrants shortly after the live event today. So please feel free to share that link with your peers, your team, or friends who you think would enjoy today's content. If you're watching this webinar live, a survey will launch shortly after we close the presentation. If you could, please complete the survey, as this provides us and our funding partners with some valuable information. And just as a reminder, all participants are muted to minimize any background noise. So again, if you have any questions or comments during the presentation, go ahead and type those into the chat box or the questions panel. So let's go over some quick information about the WWBC in case you aren't familiar with us already. We're a nonprofit organization whose mission is to enable and empower Wyoming entrepreneurs with a special emphasis on women. We do that through 5 distinct programs. The first is our business education webinars, which is what brought you here today. Our staff hosts these free 30-minute webinars each week. Next, our flagship education program, Dream Builder. This is a free, facilitated 8-week online course, and it's for building or perfecting your business plan with the support of our business counselors. Additionally, we offer one-on-one business counseling with those business counselors. Our microloan program offers loans from $500 to $50,000 for businesses that have been denied from a traditional lending source. And lastly, the Artist Development Center is run in conjunction with the Works of Wyoming store, located in downtown Laramie and online at worksofwyoming.com. And what I really want to get across to you is we specialize in micro enterprises. So these are businesses that have less than 6 employees. The majority are 1 or 2 person businesses. And these businesses were able to launch for under $35,000. So businesses like yoga studios, hairstylists, in-home daycare providers, retail stores, marketing consultants, cleaning services, these are all examples of the clients we serve. So if you're not already a client of the WWBC and you'd like to become one, it's quick and easy. You can sign up by going to wyomingwomen.org and clicking on that red sign up now button at the top of the page. So with that, I'm going to start things off with a quick poll just to feel out the virtual room here this afternoon. So a poll should launch on your screen. And it asks, what types of content are you currently using to market your business? You can go ahead and select all that apply. On this list, I have listed blog posts, videos, infographics, ebooks, polls, surveys, and/or quizzes, podcasts and audio content, contests, testimonials, memes and funny content, and none. So you don't need to spend too much time thinking about this, just whatever pops into your mind immediately. And again, go ahead and select all that resonate. Just a few more minutes here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end that poll and share the results. So it looks like we have a mix of most everything. And I'm glad to see that nobody selected none. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what goes into content creation. So here's a quick look at what we're going to chat about over the next 30 minutes or so. First, what is content marketing? Likely you're already familiar with content marketing, as was shown in that poll as well. It's around us online in many ways and is often what persuades us to make a purchase or attend an event or engage with a creator or business. Next, we'll look at the benefits of content marketing. What's the point? Why do we need to make room in our schedules to create content? Next, the foundations of effective content. Here we'll chat about what goes into creating effective content. So often I see content creators and small businesses sharing content just for the sake of sharing content. And somewhere along the lines, maybe it was determined that their social media channels must post 5 times a week. And so they post 5 times a week, but without much strategy. So here we will talk about how to avoid this. I understand that it takes time to create content, and I don't want you to create it just for the sake of creating it. I want it to connect you to your audience, and I want that audience to buy from you. Lastly, building your social network. Here I'll discuss some strategies for building a connection with your audience with your content, which ultimately means a larger audience, a more engaged audience, and a stronger network. So first up, what is content marketing? Like I mentioned, you're likely engaging with the content of other businesses regularly. So MailChimp says, content marketing is a marketing strategy used to attract, engage, and retain an audience by creating and sharing relevant articles, videos, podcasts, and other media. This approach establishes expertise, promotes brand awareness, and keeps your business top of mind when it's time to buy what you sell. So in the loosest sense, you can think of content marketing as putting information about your business onto the internet. So here are some examples of the most popular kinds of content marketing, and by no means is this representative of everything that's out there. As we move through the presentation, I'll share some examples of these as well. So you'll see blog posts, podcasts, video, infographics, free tools, templates, ebooks, and checklists. Like I said, content is all around us, and I'm certain you experience it in one way or another often. So what are the benefits of this content marketing? What's the point? Why do we need to take the time to put this stuff on the internet, especially if it's not making that direct sale? So here you'll see what are the benefits. First off, it builds relationships, connects you to customers, potential customers, other people in your community, other businesses that you could partner with. It increases brand awareness. It lets people know that you're out there, that you're offering your product or your service, and just alerts people that you exist. It boosts sales. This is, one of the things that we're so often looking for, is trying to make those sales to get money coming in the door. And additionally, it creates brand loyalty. So we all have those brands that we're loyal to. As soon as something's released from a company, then we jump on it, we're excited about it. Or we have a favorite restaurant, and when they have a special, we're going to be the first ones in the door. So this brand loyalty is really important. It generates leads. So especially if you're in a service oriented business, then it creates leads for you to make sales, for you to get your service to somebody else. It closes sales. So maybe you send or sell a higher dollar item or service, and it takes a longer amount of time for your customer to pull the trigger on purchasing from you. Content can help tighten that gap and get people to finally pull the trigger and make the purchase. It opens up opportunity for collaboration, whether that's with organizations or other businesses in your community. And it creates evergreen materials. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about these evergreen materials. But by this, what I mean is it's content that you can share again and again. It doesn't become irrelevant. It's always relevant in a sense. So whether you're selling a product or a service to consumers or to other businesses, there's a lot of research out there that supports the value of content marketing. You'll see from this research from the Content Marketing Institute that 47% of buyers view 3 to 5 pieces of content before engaging with a sales representative. And 72% of business-to-business marketers say content marketing increases engagement and the number of leads they generate. So we know that a typical sales funnel, including for business to business, starts with this engagement with content, whether that is an article, a video, a graphic, or some piece of content that entices the audience and slowly nudges the customers to making the purchase. So let's look at some examples. So here are some examples of content marketing that are each meant to attract, engage, and retain their unique audiences. They all serve slightly different purposes, but each one is beneficial to the creator's business in at least one, and oftentimes in multiple ways, whether they're selling a product, a service, or a collection of content. So starting on the far left side of your screen, you'll see these blog posts, 10 tips to make the most of holiday shopping this year. This is attractive to an audience at holiday times who are looking to save money, looking for tips for wrapping gifts, or hunting for what kind of deals are available at their favorite stores. If you look closely, you'll see that this article links large retailers like Target and Walmart, but there's no reason you can't create a similar blog post that highlights events or services and other businesses in your local community. Maybe the Girl Scouts are wrapping gifts or there's a local parade. This would be a great place to feature that information. To the right at the top of the screen, you'll see a screen grab from a YouTube video, which is a hair tutorial for an updo. Now, this could be a great piece of content for a hair salon or a stylist who would like to support their audience with some quick and easy styles to do at home. While this video doesn't sell a service directly, it provides value to the audience and it begins to establish the relationship. As I engage with the hair tutorial, I start to connect with the stylist, recognizing their expertise, all moving me one step closer to calling and booking an appointment for a service at their salon. In the center on the left, there's an animated graphic on 6 warm-up exercises to do before any workout. This is similar to the hair video. This provides great value to the audience, perhaps for a personal trainer or a gym owner, but it also generates leads, creating a sense of intrigue about the business who is sharing it. Next to that is a BuzzFeed quiz. What kind of dog are you? And I'm sure you've seen these all over the internet, and they can feel pretty silly and unnecessary, but how many times have you clicked on one? Creating content that is meant to simply entertain your audiences is valuable too. Perhaps they'll share it with their friends or bring it up at their next dinner party. This spreads the word about your brand. And frankly, the way our world looks right now, to give potential customers a reason to smile is a really great gift. Lastly, there's this blue infographic, 7 ways to support a small business. This is a great example of an infographic and one that you could share with your audiences regardless of what line of work you're in, just as a reminder of how they can show up to support local businesses. But I also share this to encourage you to think about what kind of infographic you could create that would be valuable to your audience and connect them to your business. Maybe you have a kitchen store and you make an infographic detailing how to oil your wooden kitchen tools. Or you own a greenhouse and you create an infographic on starting seedlings or caring for a tomato plant. The sky is really the limit here. And something I want to note about all 5 of these content examples is that they are all examples of that evergreen content. The time spent creating these can support you sharing it many times over. With the exception of the holiday blog post, this information will always be relevant regardless of the time of year. So this means you can share it on your social media channels or email lists multiple times throughout the year or years without the hassle of creating something new. So I'm going to take a quick pause here and ask, how many pieces of content do you think you're currently creating per month? Go ahead and take a moment to think on that. And if you want, you can pop it into the chat. And no shame here. I ask this simply as a way to self-reflect. If that answer is 0, no worries. You're here to explore how to boost that number to maybe 1 or 2 pieces of content more per month. Michelle, 2 to 3. Awesome. Jane, 6. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing and thinking about it. Oh, looks like there's something new in the chat. I go way too hard on Instagram stories, but posting 3 to 9 a week. You know, I think the thing that's interesting about how often we post is it's so unique to us. You know, what is going hard to one person could be easy and manageable for another. And so I am always reluctant to tell anybody to post a certain amount per week, per month, per day. because it looks different for all of us based on our time and how we like to spend our time. So we've covered what content marketing is and why we all should be creating it for our businesses. We're going to move on to talk about the foundations of effective content and explore how to start creating content that fits your business, whatever your business may be. So the most effective content, whether it's on or offline, is rooted in knowing your customer. Who is your business's audience? What does their life look like? And where are they? Now, where do they live? But also, where are they shopping? Where are they going to experience the world around them? And lastly, how do they consume content? When it comes to content creation in particular, another way to ask this could be, where are they at online? Are they on Facebook or TikTok? Are they reading blogs or email newsletters? Are they reading reviews, or are they reading review sites like Yelp? So you'll see an example of a customer avatar on the screen. And all I mean by a customer avatar is just a profile of your ideal content, of your ideal customer. I highly suggest taking some time to make one of these for your ideal customer for your business. You'll see that it includes basic demographics like age and relationship status and socioeconomic status, but it goes beyond that. They even go as far as to give her a name and an image. They ask, what are Gloria's hopes? What are her ideals? What other brands does she shop? When it comes to these customer avatars, the more granular you get, the better. These details allow you to create content that speaks to your customer. And when you speak directly to your customer, you're much more likely to make a connection that creates brand loyalty, which in the end makes more sales. Next, it's important to know what the goal of your content is. Are you trying to build awareness of your business or attract new customers who are unaware of who you are and what you do? Maybe you're creating content to close a sale for customers that you know have been pondering making a purchase from you. Are you fostering brand loyalty by giving them an experience with your content that is memorable and in alignment with their lifestyle and ideals? Or you could be trying to engage with your current customers, starting conversations to learn more about them, their desires, and how your business fits into their world. Or maybe you're educating current or potential customers. Not only does this goal give you the direction on what to create and what call to action to offer your audience, it also gives you an opportunity to measure success. It's hard to know what is bringing your customers to you if you're creating content without a plan. However, if you create a series of content meant to attract new customers, you can then start to pay attention to how many new customers are coming in your door or calling you for your service. This gives you more data to assess as you adjust your sales and try new ways to market your business. It's a win-win in the end. So I want to look at a couple examples of content and highlight what the goal likely was. Of course, I didn't create any of these examples, but from the content, we can start to infer what was intended. This is a post on Instagram from a company called Seed, which is a supplement for intestinal health. If you read the caption, you can see that they have challenged their audience to participate in what they're calling micro experiments that explore gastrointestinal health. So clearly this content was created to first engage the customer with these multiple day experiments. It keeps them coming back, they're checking in and engaging with content beyond just one post. Second, it's educating current and potential customers with more detailed information about intestinal health. However, is it also attracting new customers, bringing brand awareness and fostering brand loyalty? Absolutely. You'll see this in all the examples. Content can fulfill a lot of roles at any given time. Now, this is a screen grab showing a series of blog posts for a shoe company. Again, these could fulfill multiple roles. They're bringing brand awareness by creating shareable content that audiences will likely read and share on social media or through emails if they find the information to be valuable. Additionally, it's attracting new customers. If I had to guess, I'd assume that they have at least some of their own shoes on those shoe buying guides. This puts their product in front of others and moves that much closer to making a sale. Lastly, I highlighted educating current and potential customers because each of these blog posts are meant to be supportive to their ideal customers. They're providing some information that helps solve a problem for their customers, and that's incredibly valuable. Lastly, I included this example to share that this doesn't always have to be something huge. This is just a screen grab from a Twitter feed for a yoga studio. It's time for Helpful Yogi. We're ready to answer all your questions. What have you been pondering? And then it links to what I assume is a survey. They're engaging with the customers directly by asking a question that is helpful for them to get to know their customers. It's helpful for them to create content that is supportive to their customers. And it's cultivating a conversational relationship with their students and potential students. We chatted a bit about preparing yourself to create effective content unique to your business and your audience. Lastly, I want to chat briefly about building your social network. Content for the sake of content will not be beneficial to your business, especially if you aren't cultivating a network to give that content to. It's important to remember that marketing is conversational. In the instance of social media platforms, they're called social media for a reason. Their intent is to socialize, to connect people to people. So let's look at just a few ways to build your social network to ensure you're staying connected and allowing your creative content to reach the people it was intended to reach. First off, respond to comments on your social media posts, on your blogs, or any other published content. Responding to reviews on Google and Yelp or anywhere else is a good practice to get into as well. 2, share tagged photos. So by this, I mean tag others in your social media posts. If you share a photo that includes a business's product, tag them. Similarly, if you share a photo on your blog, include their name in the caption. 3, explore hashtags. Use hashtags on social media platforms as a way to connect to others who are doing similar work, as well as your ideal customers. This could be a great way to take a peek at what kind of lifestyle your ideal customer has and to fill out that customer avatar. 4, engage with local businesses' content. This is also true for any business that is relevant to you, even if they're not local in your community. Like their content, leave comments, share it with friends. Similarly, spread the word about who you love. If you're loving the new local coffee shop that opened down the block, share about it. And lastly, this all paves the way for collaboration. Collaborative content allows you to share the work of others that you enjoy, and it allows you both to connect to new audiences. It's a great way to connect to others, especially in our small towns, in our Wyoming communities. All right, just a quick review of what we've discussed, and then I'll open it up for questions. We've chatted about what is content marketing, as well as the benefits of taking time to create content to market your business. A pat on the back to all of you for carving out some time in your day to listen to this presentation and prioritizing your marketing. We chatted about the foundations of effective content, knowing your audience, and making sure you have a clear goal in mind. And lastly, we were reminded of the social nature of marketing. I shared those quick tips for building and connecting to your social network. So with that, I'm going to open it up for questions. And as you type those into the Q&A section, I'm going to go over some quick information. The Wyoming Women's Business Center is made possible through several partnership agencies. Our primary funding comes from the U.S. Small Business Administration and the Wyoming Business Council, and we're so thankful for the support and the guidance of these partners and look forward to the work ahead. Also, I want to remind you that the WWBC is a standalone 501c3 nonprofit, and every donation made to our organization is tax deductible and goes directly to our mission of empowering Wyoming's entrepreneurs, especially women, through our counseling, training, and microfinance programs. I like to remind people that every microgift is important, just like every micro enterprise in a Wyoming community is important. If you feel the webinar was valuable to you, I encourage you to go to our website and consider a micro gift. You can go to wyomingwomen.org/donate. Lastly, before I get into those questions, if you've enjoyed today's training, you can find more of our upcoming always free webinars at wyomingwomen.org/training, or you can click the training tab to see what's ahead and to register. Remember, if you can't make a live event, no stress. All registrants will receive a link to the recording in their inbox to watch as your schedule allows. With that, let me check on those questions. Are groups aimed at your customers good to form on social media? Jane, I think this is a great question, and I do think it's a great place to create targeted content. And I think it really depends on the nature of your business and the amount of time you're willing to put in. I think if you create a group, then you want to make sure that you're available and engaging with the people who are in that group. If you know right now, my schedule doesn't allow for it, I don't want to be on Facebook that much, this isn't going to work for me, and I want people to self-generate conversation in there, then I would say maybe it's not a great fit. Because I do believe all groups, while they can become self-generative and they can become great platforms for conversation and customers that come to each other with questions and answers, stories, I think when you first start, you'll really have to spend some time cultivating that. All right. Well, it looks like that was the only question. So when I close the webinar today, a survey will pop up on your screen. It's just a quick 6-question survey, and I ask that you stay online and complete it for us. We read each of these, and it helps us plan our upcoming calendar and improve our offerings. Thanks again for attending on what props was your lunch break. I look forward to seeing you again soon.